On this episode of Builder Nation, we introduce Cuisine Machine, a company focused on bringing automation to the kitchen. Their innovative technology enables fully automated meal preparation designed to handle tasks from adding ingredients to stirring and cooking, perfect for both home cooks and commercial kitchens. By simplifying the cooking process, Cuisine Machine is offering a smart solution to save time and increase efficiency in the kitchen. Keep watching to learn how their tech is shaping the future of meal prep. Today we are joined by Subina Shami, founder at Cuisine Machine. Welcome, Subina. Thanks for joining us today.
Hi, Taksha. Thanks for having me.
Okay, so I was reading that you work for 15 or more years in finance at different companies. What inspired the development of the fully automated Cuisine Machine? How did you change to that?
Well, as you know, a career in finance can be very, very challenging. And so the time at home, you don't get much time at home. And I am originally from Pakistan, so the kinds of cuisine that we cook, they may not be difficult to cook, but they are cumbersome in the sense that there are quite a few stages. So I would spend my weekends cooking, batch cooking, because I didn't want the kids to have ready meals or things that are unhealthy. So I would spend my weekends cooking. And then one fine day, one friend asked me, she said, "So what are you doing for the weekend?" But she was having fun, but I was going to be in the kitchen. So she asked me, and then I said to her, I said, "Well, I'm going to be batch cooking for the whole week, but I'll come out for a little bit." But I wish that was it. The germination of the idea was this particular sentence. I wish there was something out there that would automatically do it for me. And then it just clicked. I was like, wait, there's got to be something out there. And this was back 2009, 2010, when the Instant Pot hadn't arrived and the Ninja cooker and all of that hadn't arrived. And so I looked around and there was nothing around. And well, that's the germination of the idea. And I can go further if you want me to in the story.
Yeah, sure. Because I was reading. I remember that I read that a friend asked you about that, and you were like, "I'm going to be cooking." So it's like, yeah, at that moment, I imagine that many products that we have now doesn't exist. So I want to know now that you are talking about Cuisine Machine. I want you to explain more about it. How this automates the entire cooking process.
So basically, starting from the same point where I had that idea, then I actually got in touch with an inventions advisor, and we started designing something on paper. The first thing to do was to actually patent the idea, and also just build a very rough manual model out of clunky model out of pressure canners and stuff, just to see whether the idea would work. And so it did kind of work. And so the patent also was, in the meantime, going through the whole process. It takes a long time. Mm-hmm. So in August 2018, we were finally granted a patent. But during this time, tragedy struck as well, that my business partner, my inventions advisor and business partner, then he got terribly sick, and then he passed away. Mm-hmm. And after such a long time developing it, and I thought, I'm going to give up. That's it. I'm not going to do it. But another friend of mine said, you're going to have that what if moment. So in 2019, she said to me, just give it one last shot. Just go ahead. So I thought, okay, throw caution to the wind. Let's try and talk to some product development agencies in the UK. And it so happened I struck gold with this product development agency, and the four boys, 4D Products Limited. Wonderful boys, wonderful way of thinking. And I actually told them what wasn't working, what I needed. And they then we together developed this automated prototype that you can then see. Then why I actually further patented, because there were other novelties that came about as we designed it. So that patent is pending, and obviously citing the previous one. But the product design, not just it has progressed to such a great extent, the actual business model has been refined to a really high level over the past 4 or 5 years. So in the last year, I got invaluable business support from UK Business Connect, Innovate UK. And they were just phenomenal because they would keep asking me, who's your target market? Who's your target market? And I'd say all of these are busy professionals, or the novice cooks, or the commercial kitchen and that. But they said, you have to find a target market that is feeling the pain at the minute and will snap it up. And so they said to me, your target market is going to be the domiciliary care industry. And fast forward to this day, I've just signed a letter of intent. So now my company is Tech Cuisine Limited. And we've signed a letter of intent with the largest charity in the Jersey, which is Channel Islands, UK. And they were very excited, having looked at the product. And what they want to do is they want to take the prototype, and once we get the funding, to develop it further, to give their insights as to what it means to actually work with people who have disabilities, learning disabilities as well. So not just physical disabilities. So it's come to a point where I've got a business model which would actually provide them the end-to-end solution, where you would choose a recipe and the recipe would be downloaded. Once you've chosen it, automatically downloaded into the appliance. The ingredients would come, fresh ingredients come straight to the door. And if we have a partnership, which I'm working on with the likes of HelloFresh and well, we have another one here in the UK, it's called Gusto. And if they can then prep the ingredients and provide them to the door, then all you have to do is just load the appliance and switch it on, and it'll do it in half an hour. So it's like an end-to-end solution that we've come to, and it's been a long journey, but it's been worth it. It's been fun.
Yeah. I am hearing you, and I am so impressed by all that you are saying, because of course I read the website, I watch some videos and everything, but now hearing you is like really impressive for me to know that it's not only a machine that will do your stuff, and that is more than that, is to help people, to make life easier for everybody too.
Yeah. And see, the best part of it is, if I can give you an analogy of, I'm really old, so I used to have a record player. People those days don't have them. So anyway, if you have a record player, so if you produce the record player, it's exactly the same. So you'll keep producing it, but there are so many songs you can listen on it. That you can continue to buy new records, and you'll hear Mexican songs, English songs, or whatever. So it's the same kind of business model that I want with this, that I've got a recipe library that will not only provide you the recipes, it will also give you an ingredient list and what's good within those ingredients. And people on restricted diets could say, well, I can't eat that. It would have restricted diets as well, with FODMAP diets and things like that. So you could actually chop and change based on your allergies or food allergies, and get to a recipe that would then be delivered to your door, and it would be cooked automatically. So meal planning also will become a lot easier. People who have, if we go back to the elderly, there's 1 million elderly who are malnourished because of the fact that either the carers can't cook what they want them to cook, or then they have to actually resort to frozen meals, which are not nutritious.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of that happening. Plus, if let's say they don't have carers, so they have dexterity issues. So they have these issues where they can't chop the ingredients and all that kind of stuff. So again, they're opting for an unhealthy option. Whereas here, they've got all of this where they can actually see. It could be diet plan provider as well.
Wow,
So you,
that's cool.
yeah, yeah, you could say, well, I'm diabetic. So within the recipe library, you're looking through the diabetic recipes. So you don't really have to think that much. Or if your doctor said, eat more tomatoes, and you're gone, I'm going to put more tomatoes in my food. Come on, give me
Yeah.
a recipe. You have to cook it yourself. So I'm trying to, go through it all, uh, trying to cover my bases with all different kinds of people. So,
Yeah, that's important that what you're saying is important because now, for example, I live with my grandma, and my grandma has to have a specific diet because of their age, well, of her age. So
yeah,
it sometimes is complicated because you run out of ideas of what you have to do or what you want to eat. It's so complicated, and also not only the old people, maybe young people, but I don't know, they have a surgery, they have something that they can
yes,
have a diet after that, and and people don't want to eat soup all the day or just chicken, small chicken. Like it's not good. And of course, with this is easier to adapt your diet with the machine. That's what I was going to ask you if we can adapt it, and now I know that yes, we can adapt the diet that we have with the Cuisine Machine, because I think that is really really important for everybody to probably people that is vegan or vegetarian, they can adapt it too.
yeah, yeah. And so if you've got a dietitian on board, and even let's say a doctor as an NED, who's a non-exec director, as a doctor there, although nutritionists know a lot about the body and how the ingredients interact with the body. So if you've got somebody like that on board, literally you can come up with different beautiful combinations of different nutrients and different ingredients and how they interact, and it's just amazing what you can do. And then the way that this thing will produce it, there's lots of different things it can do, like stews, casseroles, and steaming. It's all on my website what it can actually do. So different methods of cooking, and they're all nutritious because it's cooking under pressure. So it ticks quite a few boxes.
Yeah, that's true, and I think that is really important and helpful for everybody. And now that I know that this is one thing that difference Cuisine Machine from other kitchen automation systems, but what else do you think that makes that differentiation with other that we have now on the market?
The first unique selling point is that it adds ingredients during the cooking process. Where the others, they're automated, they're really great, but you still have to return to the appliance, open it up, and add the next ingredients. So that's unique selling point number one. The second one is that it cooks in an enclosed environment and it pressurizes. So if you cook under pressure, there are lots of advantages. One, the nutrients stay within. Two, you can cook very cheap cuts of meat, because if you put the pressure high, the machine will do it itself, by the way. The pressure goes high when it knows that the meat is that's what it's cooking. So it'll go up to 15 psi, which means that the temperature will go up. And so when the temperature has gone up, the connective tissue will break quite easily, and the meat will tenderize quicker, which is the third advantage, is because it is cooking under pressure and cooking 2/3 less time than normal atmospheric pressure cooking. It'll save on energy bills. And I've got a fourth one as well in my head. It will reduce the number of appliances in your, which I think is kind of ticked, or that box is being ticked by Ninja Foodie and all of that, because people are using less and less frying pans and things on the stove. So they're doing a little bit. They're doing a little bit of the homework that Cuisine Machine needs to do.
Yeah, that's crazy. As I told you, I watched a video how this works, and yeah, I saw that cups that are on the top that just stir the ingredients, and it's crazy. You just have to let it do it by itself, and like that, because as I told you, it's important for people that has a specific diet, but also for people that doesn't have time to cook, because for example, I work and I have to do my own meal at the same time, so I have to do everything really quick, and sometimes when you don't have time, you just opt for the basic things, or for fast food, or for frozen meals that are not so good for our body, our stomach. So I think that's
Mm.
also really helpful for that, and I was so impressed by this, and watching these videos and now hearing you, I imagine that you face a lot of challenge during all these years, with the first prototype maybe, or when you have to launch the product. Tell me, what do you think is your main challenge during all these years?
The main challenge in the beginning was to try and convince people. That convincing was a little bit done in 2000, and I think I'd say 14, 15, when the Instant Pot came about. Because then people could see, oh yeah, there's something that is automated. Then the other challenge that I had, well, how are ingredients going to come to the door? COVID hit 2020.
Yeah.
So then there was a big spike in all of these ingredient service providers. So now all I have to do, the biggest challenge is to try and just get all of these services together, get somebody to listen to me. And again, obviously, all I have to do is just to keep plugging away. The biggest challenge is the network. And it's really great. I mean, like Innovate UK has been fantastic. The network that I had with them, business accelerators, there's one that if I get on one, then you enter into a network where not only do they help you, but an investor can actually, get interested and say, well, I'd like to tap into that particular market. Or if they already know about it, then they'd be like, yeah, we already understand the problem that's facing this market, and we'll care a shortage. That's the biggest problem. And I've entered into a grant challenge here in Jersey. Let's see whether I win or not. But not only in Jersey, there's in the UK, the same problem exists. We're getting older. The older population is, I don't know, for whatever reason, getting more and more dementia. And that disease is getting more and more prevalent. And it becomes caring for the adults or people with dementia a lot more difficult, because they forget to cook and things like that. Basic things, basic skills. So the challenge is to continue to be in the not limelight, but what would you say?
In this path of not giving up, or just keep improving the machine, the product.
Yes, definitely. You have to constantly be at it, and actually be prepared to pivot. That was one of the things I learned, because I was constantly on about the busy professionals. I know they would pick it up, but you've got to enter the market. Who are the early adopters? And that was when I learned from Innovate UK that, your early adopters are going to be domiciliary care, which is why the letter of intent has now been signed. And I hope that, I can, because of that, that's a very powerful endorsement of your value proposition. So that should give me leverage towards going either grant funding or for investors, or both. So investor partnerships are quite a big thing here in the UK. So I'm sure they must be over there as well. US.
Yeah. And now that we are talking about business, all the investor part and everything, I want to know in today's business, what are the challenges that you are facing it, or maybe you faced in the past, but now related with the procurement process or your supply chains?
I would say that I haven't gotten to that extent, because my prototype is still a prototype, and I need funding to take it from that stage. It's at TRL 4-5. There's technology readiness level that they call it. So it's between 4 and 5. And it needs, in order to get to 9, I need money, and I've got a business plan. So that money would then allow it to take it from prototype to minimum viable product, and then to sell the first 1,000 or 1,500. So that's the challenge, and the supply chain is not there at the minute. However, I have spoken to product development companies There are three of them. One is an end-to-end solution provider. They'll provide the whole design, the hardware, software, and the app. So the whole thing. And then with them, there's a sister company, or they actually work with components providers, which are the electronics providers, and the ones who would write the app. So I have already had a meeting with the three of them. They're waiting for the money, and I have spoken to them even about the fact that I would really like it to just be made in Britain, like a stamp of completely made in Britain, so that we don't have the supply chain issues. Yes, it would be more expensive, but then there's the pros and cons of actually getting it shipped from the Far East and that. So spoken about all of that. Haven't gotten to that level where an investor would say, I have experience in this and I don't think you're right.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I think that you face many challenges, not only developing the product, also trying to have the connections to the acceptance for investors and everything. So I think that is really hard, this journey. But as you said, is really like also like makes you feel good with yourself, makes you feel that you want to do this, you want to keep going with this, no matter what happened. You want to stay with this idea and to keep going with your team, developing the product. Yeah, I think that's really, really important.
I think the other endorsements that we got are the awards. So we entered those awards, and we're talking about big companies from 55 different countries who enter into this competition, the European Product Design Award and the Good Design Awards that you may have seen on the website. And companies like Maserati, I know the category would be cars, but it's those kinds of companies. So if you talk about kitchen appliances, there are companies like Smeg. That's huge.
Yeah.
And we were up against those guys, and Cuisine Machine is in there and got an award. So that keeps you going, because that says, well, yes, there's something. So not only is the design good, but now we've got the business model. So you need somebody to just listen, or maybe there's somebody out there who wants something like this and they don't have that idea, and they have the money and the connections and the know-how. So you don't just need the money. The challenge is to find somebody who's either done it before or has the supply chain experience, or bringing products to market, that kind of experience, which actually brings me back to my Chief Innovation Officer. He has worked for 20 years at Dyson. And so he was their Chief Product Officer over there. So he knows how to bring a product from idea stage right up to into the market. But we're in the middle. We're not at the idea stage. So anyways, I'm halfway there.
Yeah, and that's perfect. And now that we are talking that you are in the halfway, how do you see Cuisine Machine maybe in the next year? How you imagine, how you dream that, or how you think that is going to evolve this technology in the future?
What I'm hoping for is, okay, let's dream here. Okay,
yeah,
we've got
dream.
the money. Let's dream away. We've got the money, and we've actually got the minimum viable product. It's working perfectly, and we've got the feedback from our local charity who've signed the NDA. We get a partnership with them, and they are the first ones who start using it. So and it starts getting sold within the domiciliary care sector within Jersey and in the UK. So only locally over here. And then when I get all of that, I want the first year to actually be where the actions that we take qualify us eventually for a B Corp status, because that is very high on my agenda. For the suppliers, I also want them to have B Corp status. I mean, that's why I named Gusto, because they're a B Corp. And so I would love it if we were. That's my future as far as the governance and the ESG of the company is concerned. As far as the product offering is concerned, I've got other ideas. I've got version 2, 3, and 4 in my head, but it's confidential, and I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I
don't
can't
worry.
discuss it right now, but yeah, they're all there. They're all there.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, because I know that this is going to happen. Like I am sure that with everything that you are saying, that I am sure that this is going to happen, and I can wait to see how this appear on the world and everywhere. Yeah, fingers crossed for that. Yeah,
Yeah.
because I think that is something that is not just, oh yeah, there's a machine that do food. Is more than that. It goes more. Take more than that, is for help people. You, as you said, you want to help, like the full circle, no, like you have the
Yeah.
machine, the products that come to your home, the recipes that adapt to your diet. I think that that's really important, and I really can't wait to see that. And with everything that we talk, what do you think that will be your number one advice for people that is starting their own journey as you did years ago?
Don't give up. Even though I was very close to giving up, and I think you will get there. You will
Yeah.
get there when you think, I'm not doing it. But have a support system. Have support around you. And my biggest support has been my daughter and my son. He's quite quiet, but so she's been my rock. And it's very important to have that. So when you're feeling down, you just need that little kick or a push or an encouraging word. And so that gives you the tenacity to carry on. And also listen to your gut.
Mm-hmm.
So mostly my business relationships are now, as I'm getting older, are being formed by my gut. And no pun intended, Cuisine Machine, gut, they go together, don't they?
Yeah, yeah, that's true. And also don't stay with the, as your friend told you years ago, don't stay with the what if about
Yes.
something, no, like
Yeah.
don't stay with, oh yeah, I don't want to do it, I'm going to give up. But then you are going to start like, what if I do this, what if it, nah, we I think we need to stay with that. If it's an idea and if it's a project that you really want and makes you wake up happy to do it, you have to go for it. I think that that's really important. And as you said, you have to be surrounded by good people that support you, your family, friends, and everything. I think that is really important during this journey for the entrepreneurs.
Yeah, and also listen to people who have the knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
So don't just continue to, if your business needs to go a little bit this way in order to get there, listen to the people who know what they're talking about. So yeah,
I'm totally agree with you, Subina, and thank you so much for being here and share all your valuable insights with us. It was really cool to hear your ideas, to learn from you, to learn more about Cuisine Machine and all the project and the vision that you have for that. So where we can find you and Cuisine Machine, the social media or website that you like to share?
It's my website, because social media, I would actually start on Instagram and stuff when I have things to share when we get to the next stage of things. But it's cuisine-machine.com. So just visit the website and it'll have everything, the features of the product and, everything. So
okay, perfect.
And you can reach out to me from there as well. Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. And for everybody that is watching, be sure to visit our website, buildernation.io. You can also connect with us on LinkedIn by following Builder Nation for the latest updates and exclusive content. Thank you all for being part of this amazing community. We will see you in the next episode. And a special thanks again to Subina for joining us today.
Thank you very much, Aksha. Lovely to see you.